Are we leaving? All right. Are we leaving? Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'hakol nהיה b'dvarei. Chaim, to life. Or in the parsha Vayechi Yaakov, and Yaakov lived, and yet it speaks about his passing. Because he really lives, because he's a righteous person. Not just a righteous person, Yaakov Avinu, or one of the forefathers. He lives, just like his seed is following his path, so he is alive. Because what does it mean to live? It means that you have an effect. You make a difference. So he's making a difference. Over 3,500 years after his passing, he is making a difference. He fathered the 12 tribes. He still fathers us. That's the uniqueness of the righteous. The impact that they make is forever. As the Alter Rebbe, the impact that he is making is, is forever. The impact he's making is forever. That is the uniqueness of the righteous people. So l'chaim, to life. They're alive, even in their passing, because they didn't live for the material, even for the spiritual, as we will learn. They live for something greater, to life. And we have a part of it, because the Alter Rebbe teaches us what that means. L'chaim. Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kedoshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We conclude today chapter 10. Chapter 10 in one word is tzaddik, righteous. Torah portion speaks about the righteous. And the Tanya is speaking about the righteous. And we're speaking about now the complete righteous individual. The incomplete righteous means that they have some kind of heartfelt, deep in the heart, not in the conscious mind, and definitely not expressed in any words or any actions of theirs, but in the subconscious heart, a desire for something that is ungodly and unholy, meaning just enjoying something as an end in itself, not as a way to serve or to be connected to God. But that's never expressed in the incomplete righteous. But there's some lingering very deep down that they might not even know about, or at least not easily know about. But we conclude chapter 10 with the complete righteous individual, which means they've transformed all the negativity of the animal soul into holiness. Which means, l'chaim. Which means that the term that the Zohar uses, it's B'nai Aliyah, men of ascent. What does it mean that they're of ascent? Well, the first idea is that they take everything that descends and that's low, and they ascend it on high. They transform it. As we just said, the negativity from within of the animal soul, they have worked on themselves, refined themselves in such a manner that it all becomes ascended to and transformed, converted the evil into holiness, the darkness into light, bitterness into sweetness. That's the first idea of what it means, Bnei Aliyah, men of ascent. The second idea is, as they do everything for on high. What does that mean? This is a very powerful concept. Even this level in righteousness is a very lofty one. A righteous person can have a desire, a drive to want to be connected to God. They have a great thirst to be connected. And that's amazing. That's powerful. Think of our lives. If we have a thirst for God, and therefore we come and learn Torah. That's beautiful. But that's not Bnei Aliyah. That's not men of ascent. Men of ascent is that they do it only for the sake of God. Even the study of Torah, which is, a great union and oneness with God like nothing else, they don't do it for the sake of quenching their thirst. That they have a thirst for the divine. They have thirst for being connected to God. Because in the end, even though it's very lofty, and so be it that all of us should be that way, because remember, we're not righteous, but that we have a thirst and we realize that, like the prophet says, that you're thirsty, learn Torah. The thirst doesn't mean thirst for Torah, obviously, because obviously they didn't go learn Torah. It means you have a thirst for God, study Torah. That will give you that connection. So be it that all of us would be motivated just for that reason. But the truly righteous are motivated for the sake of God. What's the sake of God? That through their learning or through any mitzvah that they do, they create a union above between male and female of the divine, Kutcher B'richa and Shchinte, and through that mitzvah that engage in, with a physical object, or the Torah that they learn, as we learn now, creates a union that brings new light into this world to make a dwelling place for God in this world, in this lowest world. That the Shekhinah, the divine presence, should reach down into this world. God should be present. Wow. Wow. Is that ever powerful and lofty? In other words, it's so much not about them. It's so much about what God needs and what God wants. God chose to desired that he wants to be revealed in this world. And we do that when we study Torah. And this is their only reason for doing it, for God's sake, period. That he should be revealed in this world. Think about it. When you have a thirst for God, for something, for the divine, and you study Torah with that motivation, who's being revealed? Your desire and your engagement, your embrace of the Torah that you study, that you now have quenched your thirst. Right? Who's more revealed is the person. They are so nullified before God, so one with the divine. They have no desire, no need that their thirst should be quenched. They only want that God should be revealed in this world. That's all they want. It's a very lofty level. And in conclusion of the chapter, the Alter Rebbe says that the two explanations we gave of Bnei Aliyah, men of ascent, kind of go hand in hand. The first one was that they transform the negativity from within and transform it into holiness. The second one was that they're doing it only for the sake of heaven, for the light to be drawn down into this world, of godliness into this world, that God should, his Shekhinah should dwell here, his presence should dwell here in an open, revealed manner. So two come together. First, what you need is from within, from down up. Down up, that need to transform ourselves, refine ourselves, exalt ourselves through dealing with the animal soul and its refinement and its elevation, that's transformed from its negativity into a positive force, a holy force. And then through that, then you can then, with the right intent, doing it only for God's sake, to bring then from above to below the light of God through the mitzvah and the Torah study that you engage in, to change this world for good, to make this world a place where the divine presence is revealed. And those two ideas then come together. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Any questions? Yes, we have some questions.
Wow.
Let me pick up the questions. Joseph, is a righteous person self-made, or is a righteous person a gift from Hashem? Joseph, I'm going to give you a very Jewish answer. Yes and yes. Yes and no. Actually, yes and yes. It's both yes and yes. It's a gift from God that you have the capability to be righteous, as we will learn. Not everybody has that capacity. I mean, very few people really have the capacity. We'll get into that more. We're going to leave that right now. At the same time, it's a self-made man. In other words, the potential is there, but you have to realize that potential. So, you know, you have a potential and it's not realized, so obviously it's not realized. So certain people have that potential, that gift from above, because that's their purpose. Some people, you know, the Jewish people are like one body. In one body, you have a brain, you have a right hand, you have a left foot, you have a liver, you have all different parts that make up the entire body of the Jewish people. So it can't all be the brain, right? So we all have different functions as a whole of the Jewish people. And therefore, certain people have the capacity for it, but again, they need to be self-made in the sense that they realize that potential. Thank you, Joseph. Excellent question. Brett, how does transformation to the righteousness impact that person's family and those with whom he interacts? Well, if it impacts in a negative way, then there's a question about his righteousness. Could be a question. Can be a question on his righteousness. Right? As we see our Rebbe Tzimchaya Mushka, the Rebbe's wife, you know, and all of it, it has to impact in a positive way. Now, does that mean that the offspring of that righteous person has to be righteous? No, they have to realize it too. They may have the potential, but it has to be realized. Right? So the impact is not taking away the choice of the individual, but the righteous person will have the positive impact, but that doesn't mean that whoever in the family is being impacted is necessarily going to be righteous. Not necessarily. I mean, there's a better chance, but not necessarily. So I don't know if that's what, Brett, if that was your, right? Yes, I see that. Lori, what is the difference between a tzaddik, Rebbe, and Mashiach? Oh, Lori. Yes, a lot. I mentioned it yesterday, actually. So a tzaddik, we're getting a glimpse, is, whoa, unbelievable. Imagine no urge in the heart, the complete tzaddik. No urge in the heart for anything negative. For anything negative, meaning anything self-directed. In other words, drinking the coffee for the pleasure of the coffee. Tzaddik, no urge for that, let alone actually do it. Right? Yeah, we can have an urge for it and say, okay, no, I'm not going to do it for the pleasure. I'm doing it for whatever, I need it. No. A Rebbe, though, that's beyond, way beyond that even. Because a Rebbe, every move of their being is a reflection. A Rebbe is someone who encompasses all the souls of the Jewish people. Rebbe is an acronym, Rosh B'nai Israel, the head of the Jewish people. Just like the head encompasses the entire body and leads the entire body, so too a Rebbe, a tzaddik, no. A tzaddik can be for themselves. That tzaddik, especially if he's an incomplete tzaddik, right? But tzaddik means that for who they are for themselves, not vis-a-vis others. So the Rebbe, though, is someone who is an embodiment of all of the souls of the Jewish people, and for that matter, has a sense of responsibility for all of humanity and for all of the world.
What about Mashiach?
Right? So that is, a Rebbe is way beyond that even. And Mashiach is the ultimate embodiment of what a Rebbe is. That's in brief.
So they're one and the same.
In a sense, yeah. Okay, Lisha has a question on Instagram. How can we transform what you are not aware of being in you? Right, the tzaddik that's not complete, so how can he transform it? The old saying, Yedaiti hayisi. If I would know, I would be. If I would know, then I'd be a tzaddik. So I can't really answer you that question. But can't really answer, but I'll just give you, it means digging so deep inside of yourself that you can find some kind of nuance in something that might suggest that, oh, I'm not, there's something more to deal with over here. More on that another time. But good questions. Great questions from everybody. Okay, I don't see any other questions. All right, folks. Amazing. Let's say good Shabbos to a good day to everybody over here. Lori, Davida and Liba. Una. Archaim. Stephen, and Stephen, I think you're new. Una also, welcome. Rena, and Diane, and Mukatel, who I'm sure for not pronouncing properly, John, Joseph, Brett, Simcha, and who else is with us? Margalozata, Lori, Susanna, Cindy. Okay, amazing. Over here we have Akoy, we have Ellis, Yente La Venta, Astroy, or that's Carlos, Rachel, Yidishimama, Light of Torah, Hamid. All right, we're going to go into Rambam now. Folks, come and join us. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have an amazing, great day and a good Shabbos.